The salty sea breeze mixed with the sound of children's laughter as we pulled into the Palm Grove Resort's circular driveway. My wife, Anna, sat beside me, already tapping away at her phone, probably handling work emergencies as usual. In the back seat, our kids, Max and Sophie, pressed their faces against the windows, eyes wide with excitement. My parents, following behind us in their car, honked twice in celebration. We had finally arrived at what I had carefully planned to be the perfect family vacation. I had spent months organizing this trip, determined to give everyone the break they desperately needed. Work had been relentless for me. Anna claimed she was always stressed about something, and the kids needed a break from their endless schedule of school and activities. Even my parents, who rarely left their comfortable routine back home, had eagerly agreed to join us. The full Brady Bunch experience, I thought with a smile. What could possibly go wrong? The bungalow exceeded my expectations, a sprawling two-story building with floor-to-ceiling windows offering panoramic ocean views. Sophie squealed with delight when she discovered her room had a small balcony overlooking the beach, while Max immediately claimed the window seat in the living room as his command center for Operation Vacation. "Dad, can we go to the beach right now?" Sophie bounced on her toes, already changed into her favorite purple swimsuit. "Let's at least unpack first, sweetheart," Anna interjected, not looking up from her phone. I caught the slight eye roll from Sophie. She was used to her mother's constant distraction. "How about you and Max help Grandpa with the cooler, while I get the rest of the bags?" I suggested, earning enthusiastic nods from both kids. My father winked at me as he shepherded them toward the car, already launching into one of his famous "when I was your age" stories. My mother touched my arm as she passed. "You've done a wonderful job planning this, dear. It's exactly what we all needed." If only she knew how right and wrong she was about to be. The first few days were picture-perfect, like something out of a travel brochure. The kids spent every possible moment in the water, their excited screams mixing with seagull calls and the rhythmic crash of waves. My parents rediscovered their romantic side, taking long walks on the beach hand in hand, stopping to collect shells or simply watch the sunset. They looked younger somehow, more carefree than I'd seen them in years. Even Anna seemed to finally relax, though she never strayed far from her phone. She spent most days lounging by the pool in designer swimwear, alternating between frozen margaritas and what she claimed were important work emails. I chose to believe her. After 15 years of marriage, sometimes believing the lie is easier than confronting the truth. But paradise has a way of cracking, and our perfect vacation was about to shatter like a shell under a careless foot. I wasn't snooping. I want to be absolutely clear about that. I was simply borrowing Anna's phone to take photos of the kids building their most ambitious sandcastle yet. Max had insisted on a moat with actual water, and Sophie was carefully placing seashells along the turrets. It was a moment worth capturing, and my phone had died an hour earlier. That's when the message preview popped up. "Mike can't wait to see you." Same spot as discussed. "Miss how you taste." I blinked, my thumb hovering over the notification. "Mike? Who the hell is Mike?" A voice in my head urged me to ignore it, to preserve what was left of our vacation's perfection. But another voice, louder and more insistent, demanded the truth. One scroll revealed everything. The messages went back months, late-night meetings that never appeared on her calendar, inside jokes, and suggestive photos. Plans to meet at this very resort, carefully coordinated around my schedule with the kids. Each message was another knife in my back, another confirmation that the woman I'd loved for 15 years had been living a double life. "Daddy, come see the drawbridge we made." Sophie's voice snapped me back to reality. I quickly locked the phone, plastering on a smile I didn't feel. "Coming, princess," I called back, my mind already racing with plans. If Anna thought she could play this game, she had seriously underestimated her opponent. That night, while the bungalow slept, I sat on the balcony and set my plan in motion. First, I called Matt, my lawyer and longtime friend. "Jesus," he muttered after I explained the situation. "You're sure about this?" "I've got screenshots of everything," I confirmed, my voice steady despite the rage simmering beneath. "I need divorce papers drawn up, and I need them delivered here at the resort." "That's a bit theatrical, don't you think?" "She's meeting her lover here, Matt, while on vacation with our kids and my parents." "Theatrical doesn't even begin to cover what she deserves." Her words stung, but I kept my composure. "I'm not the one making the mistake here, Anna. You should have thought about all that before you chose this path," I said, my voice steady. She pressed her lips together, her eyes flashing with anger. "You'll regret this, you know," she spat, standing up abruptly. You'll never keep everything together like I did. I stayed seated, my hand resting on my glass, fingers tapping lightly against the rim. I'll manage. I always do. The tension between us was unbearable, but I couldn't back down now. The next few days passed in a fog of simmering emotions and calculated silence. Anna's attempts to win me back were met with indifference. I had made my decision, and nothing she could say or do would change it. One afternoon, while the kids were napping, I found a quiet corner of the bungalow to make a few more calls. Matt had been helpful, guiding me through the legal steps, ensuring everything was in place for the divorce. But there were still so many loose ends to tie up. Anna was resourceful, and I had no doubt she'd fight dirty. But I was ready. I was already imagining what life could be like on the other side of this nightmare. I had no desire for revenge, but the relief that came with taking control of my own life felt like a weight lifting off my shoulders. Then, out of nowhere, the door to my office creaked open. I turned, expecting to see one of the kids, but instead it was Anna, her face pale and tired. "I've been thinking," she said quietly, standing in the doorway, "about everything. And I realize I didn't let her finish. Anna, you don't get to pull the strings anymore. You had your chance to fix this, and you chose to betray me. Now we're dealing with the consequences." Her face flushed with shame, and she lowered her gaze. She didn't say anything more, just stood there in the doorway as if unsure whether to stay or leave. I knew there was nothing left to say. What we had was gone, destroyed by her lies and betrayal. The future was uncertain, but I had a sense of clarity that I hadn't had in years. I stood up and walked past her, heading toward the balcony. I wasn't going to let this ruin what little peace I had left. I just smiled. Better than handling your lies. The kids, thank God, remained largely oblivious to the drama unfolding around them. Max and Sophie spent their days building increasingly elaborate sandcastles, collecting shells, and begging to try every water sport available. I threw myself into their excitement, grateful for the distraction from their mother's manipulations. My parents, however, weren't so easily fooled. Mom caught me alone one evening while I was watching the sunset from the deck. "Something's wrong," she said simply, settling into the chair beside me. I didn't bother denying it. "Anna's been having an affair," I said. "I found out the first day here." She was quiet for a long moment, then reached over and squeezed my hand. "Whatever happens next, you're doing the right thing. The kids need at least one parent they can trust. Sometimes mothers just know exactly what to say." As the vacation drew to a close, Anna's facade finally cracked completely. I found her on the balcony, mascara streaked down her face, divorce papers crumpled in her hand. "I never meant for any of this to happen," she whispered. "But it did happen," I replied, keeping my distance. "And now we deal with the consequences." "I'll fight you on this," she threatened, her vulnerability vanishing like mist in the morning sun. "I'll make this as difficult as possible. You think you have everything figured out, but you have no idea what I'm capable of." I shrugged, beyond caring about her threats. "You can try, but you've already lost. The kids, the house, your reputation, it's all gone, and you did this to yourself." The morning we packed up to leave, Anna was eerily quiet. She'd finally accepted her defeat, at least for now. Mike had disappeared days ago, probably moved on to his next conquest. As we loaded the car, I caught Anna watching the kids with red-rimmed eyes. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. In the rearview mirror, Max and Sophie laughed over some private joke, their faces still sun-kissed from our week at the beach. They had no idea how their lives would change, but I knew we'd be okay. Sometimes, paradise isn't about the perfect beach vacation. It's about finally breaking free from the person who's been slowly poisoning your life. The sun rose ahead of us as we drove home, painting the sky in shades of promise. A life without lies, without manipulation, without the constant weight of betrayal stretched before us. Just me and the kids, moving forward towards something real and honest. Anna would fight the divorce, I knew that much. She'd try every trick, pull every string, but it wouldn't matter. I had truth on my side, and sometimes that's all you need. The evidence was ironclad, the lawyers were ready, and I was finally completely done with her games. As we hit the highway, Sophie asked from the back seat, "Can we come back next summer, Dad?" I caught Anna's flinch in the mirror and smiled. "Sure, sweetheart. Next time will be even better." Because sometimes, the perfect family vacation isn't about having the perfect family. It's about having the courage to let go of what's broken and build something new from the pieces that remain. And as the beach disappeared behind us, I knew we were headed toward exactly that. Life isn't about maintaining a perfect facade. It's about finding the strength to shatter it when necessary and create something real from the wreckage. Anna had chosen her path, and now I was choosing mine. The road ahead might be uncertain, but for the first time in years, it felt like we were finally heading in the right direction. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.